Night, checking us out at Kickback Jack's. Dennis White's back for another night. Good to see you, Dennis.
Hey, how you doing, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just talking to a good group of Rams kids. They got a chip on their shoulder, trying to get some recognition. They got some last week, and they want to carry that with them to Rockingham County tomorrow night.
And they have a right to. They played a very, very close Eastern Alamance, came up short and bounced back last week in an impressive win. I was very impressed with the whole structure of the whole structure of the team. The team have changed. This team is more involved in the game now than they were in the past. In the past, they just have of doing things. They wasn't hustling. It was not a complete team, because once you lose so many games, it's almost deflates you, and you have nothing to play for. But these guys have a new coach, Earl Bates, a new sheriff in town.
He's not going to allow that.
And I'm telling you,
he kicked that. He changed the culture, got that mindset out of there.
Absolutely.
Brand new sheriff, like you said.
Yes, sir. And these guys have bought into a system. This reminds me of the old Tommy Pursley days with the fans back. He won the fans back. That fan base was gone. They was gone. And when you have a close, small school like Northeast in our location that is in, your fan base is everything. So Friday night, they was in the stands, man.
Oh, yeah.
Popcorn and peanut crowd. You know, that's the good crowd. And we learned our lessons about the crowd.
Yeah, the wine and cheese crowd.
But it was this defense is awesome. I mean, you and I saw 4 guys on this defense that could start with any team in Greensboro and really cause a lot of problems.
A lot of havoc. Overton defensive back, Ola the linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Klagon the linebacker. They just got a solid team. Those kids we saw tonight, strong kids. Dennis, excellent game last Friday night. Northeast got the big win. First time ever they beat Northern. I think it's been 10 years since Northern's been on the map. And 10 years it took them. Northeast beat them last Friday. Let's change gears real quick. Just a real quick thought from you about this. I was talking to Joe Sayre about this. The death of Des Woods, a young man from Southwest Guilford, passed away back last Sunday.
Yeah,
the basketball player.
Yeah, and you know, it really touched my heart having a young teenager son
about the same
that
age.
is a driver. Yeah, they're the exact same age. You know, and it really sent a message. You and I always say this, that live one day at a time, because you don't know from one day to the next. 2 weeks ago, Danny Pender from Smith. So we see guys that we know. You have no idea of the age now, and you have to feel for both families, because both families lost Brandon Lambert.
Yeah, very tough on that kid. Very tough.
Yeah, that's going to bother him for the rest of his life. He will never be normal again, because that's going to haunt him. And, you know. And
a lot of drivers, older drivers, younger drivers alike, have experienced that. You're driving down the road, lose a little bit of control of the car, you go out there, you try to correct your turn and jerk it back quickly, and it goes out of the way. It goes crazy.
Yeah, and Andy, believe it or not, that's what we was teaching Nathan about 2 weeks ago. How to, whenever things like that happen, never overcorrect your turn, because so many times, and where he traveled to school out of Deer.
Yeah.
So, boy, you know, it's a lot of freak accidents that happens that young boys, when I was in high school, the same thing happened to one of my friends. Never forget that. It happened to him. A cheerleader, happened when she was in a coma. So young people, not so much of their own fault, but as you said, things happen, and that's a sore thumb for that community now, because a young athlete, and Andy, as I always say, even as a pastor, gone too soon. But you and I know that there is something greater and bigger beyond this life, and you just hate to see that it happened to a young kid that way.
Hate to lose Des Woods. Keep the thoughts and prayers for his family and the Lambert family, the entire Southwest Guilford community and the basketball community.
Absolutely, because you know those kids, man, that was a shock.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
I found out about it at Eastern Guilford Parade when some of the players just started crying. They got the news, or it was around 3 o'clock on Sunday
afternoon.
And then when they got the news, you just seen kids, you know, via social media or phone calls, and guys that played with the AAU and played with them. And when I heard it, we was walking back to the car, and I couldn't. And Nathan looked it up, and then I get a call from you, a text from you as well. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable, because you and I talked about this kid coming into his own, very vital part of that. He would have been in the limelight this year with the Langley brothers out.
A lot of guys being gone. That's right. Going to be an interesting year for Southwest, and football-wise, having a great year. Big win for Southwest. Beat Dudley last Friday night. Wow, what a win that was.
Yeah, and Andy, you as the receiving the Don Moore scores. You and I learned lessons years ago that you never call the scores. If you're unsure, you want to make sure. So Don, if I get scores from other sources, I make sure I get it from Don to compare before I say it out. So you and I was baffled because I was hitting your arm all night. Andy, can you believe this? You're like, wow, man, is that the right score? Because it was like they were scoring back to back.
Yeah, and you kept thinking if Dudley was behind, they would make a run at it, make a challenge, but they never challenged.
Yeah, and you know.
They went through 4 quarterbacks in the same night.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's unlike Dudley. If I would have said here last week and told you that, you would have checked my drink.
Yeah, because when the last kid, Young, came in, I thought it might have been Vince Young. Maybe he was about to get some more snaps, but boy, Dudley went through some quarterbacks.
Yeah, and
I don't think Simpson will play tomorrow night.
Right, and the thing that I look at in that game, Dudley has been playing on the edge for the last 3 ball games.
Yeah, you're right.
And when you teeter-totter with Page, you got by Durham Hillside, and you got by Southeast, but they caught up with you at Southwest. And Andy, did you think about this? I know you keep up with all stats. It was this time last year almost they lost to Page. The 7th or 8th game, they lost to Page.
Right.
And they went on after that and ended up winning the state championship.
Sure they did, yeah.
And I said to you then, I said, Andy, sometimes a good loss is the best way to be strong.
You just wonder and hope that Zariq Rush is healthy, because he didn't have the kind of game last week he had against Southeast, so you're playing a different team. But I thought if something happened, maybe Rush would carry him. But even he wasn't enough to carry the team. And tomorrow night against Smith, it's going to be a tough hill to climb for Dudley. They're at home, but they're climbing the hill on homecoming of all things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was talking with Chris Rosler, who's play-by-play on the sister station over on Greensboro Sports 2, and he was saying that he never seen it happen like that to anybody, back to back touchdowns before you can blink your eyes. It happened so fast. And I think that you've been involved with football, I've been involved with football. Once a team feel that they are David and you're Goliath, when David get a hand on you, it's hard for Goliath to bounce back. Once David figure out I can take Goliath down, and they felt like, hey, this is our time. If anybody can do it, we can do it. And so that's what happened. David
Southwest. What about tomorrow night? Do you think Dudley's back to being Dudley tomorrow night against Smith?
Yeah, I think that they will. I said to a couple of Smith guys on last week, fans, I wouldn't want to play Dudley. I would not want to be the team, because now Dudley can come back. You and I've seen this, come back and put up 50, or they can come and struggle again. So you don't know. The interesting
thing is all those injuries. They still got Reggie Robertson's out. They still got Miles Berry's going to be out. They still got possibly Crossan won't be out. He's still going to be a little bit beat up. Won't be probably play offense. They've got sounds like G. Simpson won't play. Fitzgerald still got a game. Got to serve one more game suspension. They got a lot of kids still won't be in line tomorrow night. Got big offensive line. I think they're down to the 3rd center. And that makes a difference in those snaps.
It really does. The timing, you and I have seen that, the timing. And do you wonder when they beat Southeast that they lose against Southwest the same night because DJ Crossan was out, injuries, you couldn't get back right, even though you was off, you couldn't get back. So Southeast lost the game, but I think Dudley left a lot at Southeast that they wish that it took to Southwest. So it didn't balance out, because you and I was wondering what that day off going to help Dudley, but apparently it didn't help him, and that week off, correction.
What about, look at these, let's run the table. What about Ragsdale Grimsby? Who you pick?
I have to go to Ragsdale. Ragsdale is hot.
4-3 coming in. How about Northwest at High Point Central? Chris and Coach Steele, as you mentioned, have that game on Greensboro Sports Radio 2 tomorrow night. over at Simeon Stadium in High Point. Northwest 3-4, at High Point Central 4-3.
You and I talked about it. Where goes Trey Turner, so goes Northwest. Trey Turner is out. Northwest is down on the down slope. And right now, High Point Central and Coach Jones is up. I'm going with the Bisons.
And Cam Cloud's got to have a big game for Northwest, have a chance to win. Eastern that's Eastern Alamance at Northern Guilford. How about that game?
Eastern Alamance.
6-0 Eastern, and Northern's 3-3.
Eastern Alamance, repeat that out.
Yeah, Eastern Alamance at Northern Guilford. Eastern Alamance 6-0, Northern's 3-3.
And then right now, Northern can't find the way back up to the old Northern. I'm going Eastern Alamance.
Okay, what about another flip or two? Northeast 4-2 at Rockingham County 4-2. Both teams 1-1 in the conference.
Right now, Earl Bates have Northeast on an upbeat. They're on an up kick, and they are really a team that's bought into the system. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat Northeast right now. I have to go with Northeast.
Do you think Friday is a must-win for Smith and a must-win for Dudley, or more for Dudley or more for Smith?
It's more for Smith.
More for
Smith. I think that because now they're battling for a playoff berth. Dudley will clinch a playoff, but it's going to be hard for Smith if they keep going downhill from Dudley and on.
I might repeat myself on some of these from last week, but maybe things have changed in your mind a little bit in the week's period. Coach of the year again for the midway point of the year.
I'm still going to go with Coach Tinsley. You and I, we talked about my top three were Earl Bates, and talked about Coach over at Page Rifles. And right now, in Southeast and Southeast and Northeast is doing what nobody thought, but I think Southeast program was more diminished. People know Earl Bates' reputation because he was the sheriff that Bill Southern back up. He had a reputation, but this new kid, Tinsley, nobody knew anything about Tinsley, but he played with Dudley, played with the Tar Heels, and played with Eastern. But Ken, the young kid, found his way in a hostile territory with the new team that was downhill. He brought the team up, man.
His team could go unbeaten. The way that could work out is if he beats Eastern next Friday night and runs the table in the conference, which he has a good chance to do, going to the playoffs, he could drop that one non-conference loss, and that would be the loss to Dudley. He could enter the playoffs on an unbeaten record.
And
crazy as that is.
And get ready for the statue. They're going to put that statue right in front of your parking space with Big John of Tinsley.
Coach Bill Slayton said his statue goes up Monday, so be prepared for that unveiling.
Absolutely. And then Tinsley probably be 20 years after Slayton, right?
Right, exactly. How about the biggest surprise team on the positive side this year?
I would have to again say Southeast. Southeast, yes, sir.
Northeast close?
Northeast and Southeast is right there together. Thank you for bringing that team up, man.
What about the biggest turnaround by a team going the wrong way, headed in the wrong direction this year?
Eastern Gifford. I have to be Eastern Gifford because when they lost against Smith, people thought that, hey, this team is not as legit to go in and lose against Smith. But like you said, and I remember your words, Smith defense is a lot tougher than people think, because our offense hadn't been scoring, but Smith have a good defense. And I think Eastern Gifford would be that team.
What about NC State Louisville tonight? Lamar Jackson, Heisman Trophy winner versus Bradley Chubb, one of the best pass rushers and one of the best quarterback chasers in college football.
Well, and there again, always throw Big Don in this. Don and I true to that Tar Heel blue. And Wolfpack is not the team that I know that's your team, buddy. But I'm gonna go with Louisville. I think Don Moore agree with. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
I'm campaigning for a win tonight for NC State. Got Reggie Gillespie the second out of Southern Guilford. You got Jarius Moorhead from Eastern Guilford.
That's right.
You got Jermaine Pratt from High Point Central, and got Bryson Spees from Dudley on State's team. Hopefully the guys can get
Guilford
done
County.
tonight.
Great, yeah.
Guilford County guys. New England, Tampa Bay. We're hoping that New England will do the Carolina Panthers a favor and beat Tampa Bay tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm certainly hoping that. But when I look at Jameis Winston, how he turned this team, that's another team. And when you look at turnaround in the NFL, the Buccaneers, they are really playing having a great season. But as you said, for the sake of our Carolina Panthers, I'm going to go with Tom Brady. Even though I don't too much like New England at all, but for Carolina's sake.
And how about the Panthers?
Yeah.
How about the Panthers at Detroit Sunday, going up against Eric Ebron and the Lions on Sunday?
I tell you, Andy, that's one that I just want to be neutral, but I'm going to have to go with Cam Newton and the Panthers.
All right. Do you think Jim Caldwell may return to the Indianapolis Colts and coach them one day? They need some help right now.
Well, right now he haven't signed the contract. He haven't signed. Last I heard with Detroit.
I think you're right.
And so you never know. You and I always talk about the coaching carousel. You never know how that goes.
How about the bonus question tonight? Did Cam Newton disrespect the reporter Jordan Rodriguez yesterday from the Charlotte Observer? Did Cam disrespect her?
I don't think so. My opinion, when you have a lot of turmoil going, anything that come out will put a blemish on a player, and he lost that endorsement. And he wasn't disrespectful. He didn't degrade her. He didn't say anything that will cause the league or the Panthers to punish him. I think people from this point on is going to criticize who they want to criticize in the NFL for anything. Right now in the NFL, if you come out with a blue and yellow shoe, you're protesting against somebody's feelings
The
or
A&T
anything.
Aggies program.
Yeah. Somebody would come up with something.
You don't like Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, if you come up and taking too many apple saucers, or somebody will say, you're doing a substance. So it's a lot. I don't think, personally, my opinion, there again, I always believe in everybody's opinion, and we have to honor people's opinion, whether we agree or disagree. But to me, he did not say anything. He didn't flash his body part. He didn't do anything derogatory. He just made a statement about.
You think maybe he was a little bit silly in what he said?
Absolutely. I don't think it meant anything. And I think Cam is a guy that a horseplay. Cam is a guy that say things off the cuff. And the endorsement being pulled, I think, but he still has the contract.
The main thing he's got to do right now is focus on Sunday in the ball game. You
That's
got to
the
get
most
this other stuff
important thing.
away from the table. Got to get focused on the football. Your favorite ice cream flavor as we close? I've been asking that night. Got several vanillas. Got Joe Sierra talked about some Reese's Pieces, I think, in his. What about the favorite?
Butter pecan.
Butter pecan.
Yes, sir.
Got you covered. I really like that Neapolitan with chocolate vanilla. Let's get them all at one time. Let it melt a little bit and let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andy, real quickly, again, Des Woods. When we got the news, it was certainly heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching. But I like what the students had to say, and the staff. They really support. As you always say, Southwest is a family atmosphere, and this is the time that you rally around family. The AD, you know the AD well.
Yep.
And they showed so much class in this time. And you and I have developed a great relationship with Coach Guy.
Coach Shavers and Coach Crispin, the AD over
top
there.
Of the line.
Yep,
oh my goodness.
Yep.
And we just, again, condolence to the family, and as you say, gone too soon.
Gone way too soon. You got to hate it for them. Going to be a long year for their basketball program, for the school right now. Just so maybe the football team can continue to do well and they can rally around that football team.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're going to need some more support. They're going to need, because it have taken an effect on every kid on that. And they was just talking about how he would make that day with his smile and how his presence. And you and I fell in love with Quashonda Monk.
Monk.
She was the face of Northwest basketball until the Langley brothers came on the scene.
Yep, you had Landon. Landon Leach had Terrell Leach had Landon before. Then Terrell Leach had KJ Langley. Then you had Cameron and Kobe and all Keyshawn, all the Langley brothers.
Absolutely, because Leach, you told me about Leach. You couldn't wait to get. And that night, we seen that gentleman play against Northwest, and he was jumping out of the gym. And right then, Southwest men's basketball was born. It was on the rise, and then we got to talk about Des Woods last year and this year. And all of the cheerleaders going to wear the number 2, his number in their hair. It's just a good way to end our show, just to pay homage to.
Thoughts and prayers up with the Woods family, the Southwest Guilford basketball family, and the Southwest Guilford school community.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Thank you, Dennis. Good job as always.
Hey, always a pleasure, Andy. Good job, man.
Tomorrow night, Kickback Jacks. I don't think for our time this week at Kickback Jacks on Battleground. Dennis White's with us. Dennis, a closing word tonight?
Yes, again, condolence goes out to the young man, the Woods family, and also a great great week of football, high school football. And Andy, can you believe we're in week 8 already?
Shocked.
Week 8. Can you believe it, partner?
I believe we're
Seemed
this
like-
deep in the season.
Yeah, seemed like we just
After
got,
this week, you only got 4 weeks left of the regular season.
and then we are in the playoff
And
mode.
teams like Page they're open this week. They don't play this week. They haven't played a conference. They'll play 4 straight conference games. Their regular season's over.
Yeah, and the season is done. When you look at you and Don and myself, Wyatt, the whole team, Coach Darrell and
Chris Walls.
Coach Walzer, Chris Walls and Coach Tim, all of us just like we just got together, and now we are going in season 8. What amazing!
To
Where
me,
did
it
the
seems
season
like
go,
we never
man?
stopped, to be honest with you. It's
Right.
like last year, we're going to Moxville, we're going to Charlotte, we're going to Raleigh, we're going to Fayetteville, we're going to Chapel Hill, we're going to Zebulon twice.
Yes.
Covered all those football back. It was crazy
Back to
last
back,
year.
going through those little towns with the map,
Yeah,
and
man.
now it's almost time to get the maps out again, partner.
I tell you, we will. We'll see you again next week at Kickback Jacks. Great food, great football, great fun at Kickback Jacks. They got great staff. They do an excellent job. Kick back and relax at Kickback Jacks this weekend. This is the place to be.
Absolutely, no better place to be in Greensboro than Kickback Jacks.
You got great waitresses too.
Great waitresses and good food as well.
Love this place. Kickback Jacks. We'll see you again next Thursday.
Good night.